3
I learned my
weeks.
only child wife had a sister. 3 weeks to live, and the one person who could save her didn't even know
That's
she
what the
existed.
doctor gave her. My wife, my Sophie, had 3 weeks to live. I stood there, watching her through the glass, her breath so shallow, the monitors beeping a miserable countdown. The whole room smelled like antiseptic and endings. I pressed my hand against the glass, a useless gesture to stop my world from shattering. That's when I heard them. 2 nurses, whispering just around the corner. "She looks exactly like that Megan from Charlottesville," one said. Same eyes, same chin. My blood ran cold. Sophie didn't have a sister. She'd told me she was all alone, that her parents died in a car crash when she was 23, leaving her with no one. I'd spent 12 years comforting her through the anniversaries, holding her through the nightmares, and now this. My name is Jake. I make furniture. For half my life, my world has been sawdust and varnish. Sophie was the one who brought in the light. We met at a barbecue. She was wearing this yellow sundress, laughing like she held summer inside her. I fell in love instantly. Now that same woman was being destroyed by a rare blood disease. Her only chance was a stem cell transplant from a close family member, a family she swore didn't exist. I hunted down the nurses. The younger one gave me a clue. If I were looking for someone from Charlottesville with the last name Blake, I'd check social media. Blake. Not her maiden name, Taylor. Another lie. That night in my truck in the hospital parking lot, I found her. Megan Blake. The resemblance was uncanny, the same heart-shaped face, the same crooked smile. A newspaper archive confirmed it all. Michael and Elizabeth Blake, survived by their daughters Sophia and Megan. My Sophie was Sophia. She had lied about everything. Her name, her past, her sister. As I was reeling, my phone rang. Dr. Patel. Sophie had a seizure. She was stable, but her condition was collapsing. We didn't have weeks anymore. We had days. I called Sophie, my voice shaking with a mix of fury and terror. Through her tears, she confessed. She had abandoned Megan after their parents died, taking the entire $200,000 inheritance and disappearing. Shame had driven every decision since. "Find her," she whispered. "Tell her I'm sorry. I found Megan covered in grease at an auto shop in Charlottesville. She looked just like Sophie, but life had carved her differently, harder." The moment I said Sophie's name, she told me to leave. The betrayal ran deep. But I didn't go, I begged. I told her Sophie was dying. She didn't crack until I showed her a photo of Sophie hooked up to machines. That's when the anger in her eyes finally wavered. In her messy office, she told me her side. How Sophie stole her inheritance, changed her name, and cut her off completely. How she spiraled, crashed, and finally pulled herself back up. When I showed her the picture again, the pain on her face softened the rage. Later, Sophie called me from her hospital bed, her voice a thread. She confessed she never spent Megan's money. She'd put it in a trust, adding to it over the years. She was broken, not cruel. When Megan called me to ask if the trust was real, I told her everything. She agreed to be tested. Hours later, she was confirmed as a preliminary match. The deeper tests came back positive. Megan was compatible. She endured the painful injections to boost her stem cells, hiding her fear with sarcasm. "I'm not doing this for her," she told me. "I'm doing it because if I don't, and she dies, I won't survive that guilt." 3 days later, after the harvest, she was pale but triumphant. "Tell her," she said. I said yes. We flew back to Savannah. Sophie was in the ICU, intubated, barely alive. Megan's face fell when she saw her, but she stepped forward, grabbed Sophie's hand, and whispered, "You don't get to quit." Not now. The transplant itself was simple, a bag of cells dripping into Sophie's veins. The days that followed were brutal. Infection, organ failure, constant alarms, then a breakthrough. A tiny rise in her white blood cell count. It was just a flicker, but it was hope. Slowly, day by day, she came back. They took out the breathing tube. Her eyes opened, found mine, and I just broke down. Then she saw Megan. "You stayed," she whispered. Megan, trying for a smile, replied, "Someone had to make sure those stubborn Blake cells did their job." In the weeks that followed, the sisters talked. They cried, they laughed, they argued. Megan stayed in Savannah, bought a local garage with her inheritance, and started her own new beginning. 3 months later, Sophie came home. Her recovery is long, the future uncertain. But at dinner the other night, as we raised our glasses, Megan said it best. To family. Complicated as hell, and we all drank to that. Because she was here, breathing, healing, alive, and for now, that's more than enough. Thanks for watching.